What's up, guys and gals, and welcome back to the Nerd Castle. Today in the world of indie games, we're going to be diving on into the demo for a game called Blight. This is a game where you are in a medieval wilderness, and there is a creeping fog coming along that's taking over everything and destroying stuff. I don't know if it's like eldritch in nature, or if it's like a plague, or like what it might be. But I can tell you this, if you sit in the booger fumes, bad things happen to your character. So anyways, we're going to check out the demo today, see if it's something you wanted to add to your wish list for the final release or not. If after watching this you wanted to check the game out for yourself, I will absolutely have a link for you down below in the description. This demo is publicly available right now. You can get it straight from the Steam page. You can also find a link to my Discord and my Twitch stream where I'm live and interactive most days of the week, and I would love to have you. So without further ado, let's start a game off. We're going to put it on, let's put it on realistic. That's what I like. I'm a long, dark interloper guy. Give me the difficulty. Give me the suffering. Give me the toes that rot off in the cold. All right, so taking a look, it looks like we are in the middle of a grassy knoll. All right, well, the first thing it wants us to do is make a campfire. So as with all survival games, I assume here at the beginning we're going to be doing an excessive amount of picking rocks up off the ground and also chopping down huge amounts of trees. So let's just get after it. So far, the game is isometric. You can move things around with the middle mouse button right here. We've started out with an axe and a hammer, so we've started off like reasonably well provisioned. We've at least got some tools in order to get the survival job done. Starting out with an axe, markedly more generous than starting out with nothing, so I'll take it and I'm not going to complain. We've got 8 stones right now. Sounds good. What is that right there? You can hold down Alt in order to see everything that's lootable. Oh, we've got some chamomile. Okay, so chamomile is used for making teas and whatnot. There's also some garlic right there. I'll take it. We got some dogbane right there. Yeah, I'll take that as well. Wonder if that's the same thing as wolfsbane. Wolfsbane and dogsbane. Is that just like different colloquial like reckonings of the same plant? I'm a little bit curious. If you're wondering why it's called that in the case of wolfsbane, it's because dogs don't like the smell of it. So in olden times, if you had a wolf problem, you would gather and make wreaths of dogsbane and put them all over the camp. And it would keep dogs away because they don't like the smell. And so anyways, we got a big rock over here. Sure, I'll take a big rock. What we can do with the big rock is we can convert it into little rocks, but it is going to use up some of our hammer durability, unfortunately. So we'll knock that out real fast. We've got enough stones right now to where we can make our campfire. I don't want to get too wild and crazy with our positioning on the map. It's always important in a survival situation to maintain some reckoning of your positioning, like in directionality, and basically you just want to be oriented at all times. So what I'll probably do is I'll probably set up on the beach over here so that we're right next to the water, so that no matter where we go or what we do, we will have access to our base if we just follow the water. I'm going to go ahead and we'll place this right here, and then we've already got our hammer out, so let's go ahead and hammer away on it. There we go. Animations are a little bit stiff. From what I've seen so far in my testing of the game and things that I've played around with, they definitely need to work on the organics of the character. They've got like a real Piranha Bytes thing going on right now, and that's not like a good thing. I don't know why my character like moves as though he doesn't have control of his knees and elbows, but giving a little bit more sway and like a little bit more weight to the character I think would go a long way, because like with some people, like myself included, sometimes a game will be good, but like the animation quality will sort of like degrade the overall experience of the title and make it just kind of feel cheap, and it becomes one of those things that you like tolerate rather than like you want to brag about. And in the case of this game, the animations are definitely a little bit rough and need to be a little bit cleaner. I'm going to gather up some wood supplies so that we can light a fire. That way, how can I chop down this giant tree? Please don't fall on me, dude. That's all I ask of you. That's all I ask of you. Please don't fall on me, man. Please don't fall on me. It wants me to put my bedroll down so that we can sleep through the night, but honestly, I'm a little bit more interested in chopping down trees and making sure we have the utilities we need in order to survive. We'll get the hell out of the way of that, because that is quite a considerable chunk of tree. Like the physics on that right there. Keep on chopping and just knocking things out. Okay, we got a big old thicky boy log, double C thick. Now, I have no idea if I can even lift all these logs. This may be like a multi-trip run now that we've got it all properly processed. Yeah, I'm already overweight right now, so we're going to have to, like, haul this back. I'm going to store them, like, inside of my campfire, because I don't really have any other place to put it. It looks like we've got about 2 hours of fire available, so it looks like we get about 1 hour per log. You'd think a log that size would burn a little bit longer than that. That's like a Yule log right there, man. That's like a Festivus log. That's a log that's got festivities in its heart. Okay, so I've got my logs stored away. We've got about 4 hours to play around with. I'm going to place my bedroll real fast, and I think we can, I think it's shift, yeah, shift and the mouse roller to move that around. So we'll just kind of keep that a tasteful distance from the fire. That way we don't light ourselves ablaze. I don't know if I have enough logs in order to get through the night. I frankly have no clue how many I'm actually going to need. We might be able to, I mean, I feel like in the interest of preserving all of our goodies, I do like the fact, though, for what I said about the animations previously, them being a little bit stiff, I do like the pickup animation. Like, I like that he picks up the object and then reaches over his shoulder and puts it in his backpack. I like that a lot. That's like one of those little details that I'm a fan of. There's more twigs and stuff. Do I really need twigs, though? Just give me some sticks, baby. We got a blueberry bush right here. Yeah, let's get down on some blueberries, dude. Any sort of, like, reasonable food stuff that we can just kind of graze off the land is absolutely 100% acceptable. That's going to save us from having to do other stuff later. Go ahead and eat all those real fast. That does look like it helped out a little bit with our requisite meters down here. I don't think it helped out with our water very much, but it helped out a little bit. The map does seem to be procedurally generated. Either that or it's placed us in a different spot. When I was testing the game out prior to playing this was definitely not where it began. But if I know anything, the game's going to want me to gather some clay pretty soon. This is a very, very crafty game. Like, you're going to be doing a lot of crafting. So if you don't like crafting games, I can tell you right now flatly, this is not going to be the game for you. This is a game that has a lot of gathering and a lot of stuff that you're going to be working on. All right, so we got some river clay right there. Don't drink out of the river without purifying the water. You're going to hate yourself. It's a terrible decision. You're going to have a really, really bad time. 1 meter you have to balance right here is that you can become infected by the Blight. And that's a thing that actually does happen to your character if you walk through, like, green smoke, or if you drink out of any of the natural resources, or you eat anything that hasn't been properly prepared. Guess what? You about to get blighted, baby. I'm going to grab as much clay as I can, because I'm planning on being sort of a frontiersman renaissance man. A potter, if you will. Someone that has the skills to pay the bills. Although without a turning wheel, I don't know how we're going to do any realistic gathering. Apparently, I am freezing cold inside the water, so maybe we'll get away from that. Oh, I'm dropping items on the ground right now, too. Our inventory's full. Feels bad. Okay, well, let's take it on back to our main base, and we'll kind of, like, collate and figure out what objects we have available. It wants me to build a cairn. I don't know if I have the stuff to make a cairn. I also don't know where the cairn might possibly be at, but a stone bowl is a good call because we can't drink from any of the water sources. So being able, I need to get that out of my inventory. I think the bowl's just going to fall on the ground after I craft it. Indeed, it did just fall kind of on... Did it even fall on the ground? Where did it go? Bowl? Where are you? You were my friend, Bowl. Well, it fell on the ground, but underneath that rock right there. Hold on, there we go. All right, so I got my stone bowl. I'm going to take this back on over here, and we can drag this into our hands, and then we can actually, like, everything in this game is interactable. So if you have, like, a bowl in your hands or, like, a vessel, you can fill it up at the river, and then if we take it back on in over here, we can boil off some water because our water meter is a little bit bad right now. It's not looking super great. We'll put that on the cooking surface. We'll ignite the flame, and we will boil the water. And while we boil the water, I may process a couple more trees just to make sure we've got enough wood to make it through the nighttime. I have no idea what time it is right now, and so chances are we're going to need, like, a lot of logs. There we go. Just give me those 2 logs right there. That looks great. I love that when the tree falls down and the limbs kind of do that explosion when they hit the ground, it throws sticks all over the place. I don't know why that makes me happy, but it's a satisfying thing for the game ado. I will take more sticks and stuff too. I don't mind. All right. Not enough space to stack up more logs. A little bit of a disappointment right there. I can put some of the sticks inside the fire, though, just to help out with consumption over here. It's about halfway cooked. We'll go ahead and add that on in. We'll add those on in. That gives us another 2 hours to play around with, which I think is actually pretty fantastic. I'm starting to get like dusky vibes, like I'm starting to feel like it's about to get kind of dusk-like out here. And so the more I can get laid together, I don't know, you know, like stuff always gets like a reddish pallor, like right before the sun like kind of dips down below the hill for like that final hour. That's exactly the feeling that I'm getting right now from the tone of the game. All right, so we've got enough sticks, we've got enough logs. Let's throw these on in here. I figure 12 hours is probably going to be roundabout good enough. There we go. 8.5 is not 12. Apparently, I'm really bad at math. But what we can do is we can craft some of this into a... I'm going to go ahead and sculpt a couple of bricks while we wait. Yeah, that'll be fine. And then we'll sculpt up an actual bowl, and we'll see if we can harden it in the fire. That way we're not using like a stone bowl that we whittled. We're actually using like an official piece of equipment, like our first artisanal design. Yeah, make 2 of them. Why not? There's no harm in having multiples. We can do that. I don't have any storage mediums right now except for my backpack, so that's got me a little worried. It looks like our water is officially done. I'm going to put it in my hands, and then I think what I'd like to do is drink it. Hey, that filled up our water meter much more satisfying than I thought it would. That's great. Let's go fill it up one more time because I don't see... Survival at its core is about making do with what you have and limiting caloric expenditures. And so if we have a fire burning, it took us calories to gather the materials in order to have that fire. Therefore, it's a really good idea to capitalize on that as much as possible. I'm going to harden up some of these bowls. I'm going to harden up some of these bricks, and we'll play around with that. It wants me to make a rabbit snare, and I do think that that's actually a pretty solid idea. That's why I went out of my way to pick up the dogbane stem. We can make ropes out of it, and so I guess we can use it. We don't have a lanyard ring or anything else like that for making ropes, which is typically what you would use nowadays in order to help out with the weaving process, but we can still do it like the old itsy-bitsy rub-it-together spider way and just hope that it bonds. As far as making a rabbit snare goes, is that a building project, or is that a... Oh, we can make a stick crate. And I could store stuff inside of that. Okay. If we have 20 clay bricks, we can make a bloomery. We can also make a charcoal smelter. We've got a hearth furnace. We've got rain catchers. I really like the idea of a rain catcher, but it looks like those aren't fully implemented just yet. We are going to have to figure out a way to plane a workbench, so we need to be able to plane planks in order to get that done. Okay. I don't think it's in that menu, though. I think it's probably in the crafting menu. Yeah, traps. So we need another dogbane. We can't get around that. So let's just kind of set out. I'm going to set out in a cardinal direction. That way I know that I just have to go back south. And actually, I think I see our dogbane right there. 2 dogbanes, actually. So we'll go ahead and grab those. Dogbane and dogbane. Fantastic. I'm going to make one thing plain, that it ain't no strain to get myself a dogbane. All right, so we've got a couple more ropes coming on in. That's going to be good to have. And then the other thing that we needed for it is we needed 6 sticks from what it looks like to me. Yeah. But the good news is we're in the middle of a forest, so it should be fairly easy to track down all the sticks that we need in order to get by. I can still hear our water boiling. The sound goes away once it's done processing, and actually I think that's really, really good sound design. That's Blight right there. Don't go into it. Bad things will happen to you. The Blight, it seems to move around, although I haven't verified it 100%. Ooh, we got some more bloopers over here, man. Yeah, hunting and gathering. Yup, those blueberries did a good job on our hunger last time, and I think with a volume like this, we should be even better off. That may actually hold us for the day, so that we don't have to worry about food till tomorrow. The only downside is, generally, plants and things that are edible that you find out in nature, they tend to have a substance called sorbitol in them. And the problem with sorbitol is thus. Sorbitol makes you get diarrhea. So you need to kind of be careful with any forageables. Raspberries, blackberries, blueberries, anything that you found out in nature. Distinct possibility that it's got high volumes of sorbitol. And if you think about it evolution-wise, there's a reason why the plant has evolved to have that. I'm going to drink this water real fast. There we go. Full tank. You love to see it. Okay, and then we can kind of just throw the bowl on the ground for right now. We'll worry about it a little bit later. But anyways, you can tell the reason why the plants evolved that way is because typically the fruit that you're going to find around in nature has seeds inside of it. That is, after all, the definition of fruit is that it is a self-germinating, self-kind-of-feeding seed. Falls on the ground, it rots, the seed feeds off of the flesh material, and then it grows. Basically, it's a pre-built MRE for the seed. And how do you get the seeds around? Well, by giving animals diarrhea. And so that's why sorbitol is in there. It's to encourage the animals to spread the seeds around after they eat the fruit so that they poop it all over the place. And the plants that evolved the mutation for sorbitol are the ones that survive because they were able to propagate more successfully than the ones that couldn't. And so anyways, that's the idea. But for survival's sake, you just don't want to eat too much sorbitol. It's bad for you. And you lose a lot of liquid if you get diarrhea. And keeping yourself filled back on up, especially if you don't have access to a fire and the ability to boil your own water, is going to be bad. Luckily, it's not too difficult to start a fire if you know what you're doing. But it's still kind of a pain in the ass and usually takes a lot of calories. We've got an empty bush right there. I'm going to go ahead and grab these logs just to top off our fire real quick. Got a thick boy log right there, a twig. I do wish if you were on like the final section of a tree and you were chopping a log. It does actually, never mind. I guess it must not have done it with like the bigger tree. I was going to say, it should like convert that final piece into a log. But I feel like I had to chop all the way down on previous trees, but I guess I wasn't paying attention very well. The curse of being me. Alright, so let's move over to here, and we will... It looks like I can put that in right there and cook it somehow. But first things first, I need all these sticks and stuff. Oh, I needed the sticks for the rabbit trap. That'll add 5 whole minutes. Oh, yeah. Let's go ahead and make our rabbit trap. With rabbit traps, you typically want to find a rabbit trail, which can be somewhat of a pain in the ass to suss out. But we have one now. Now, we don't want it to be anywhere near from our camp, and we don't want it to be anywhere downwind from us either, because that means when an animal gets caught up in the trap, it's going to release a bunch of pheromones, but on top of the pheromones that are being released, what's going to happen is it's going to associate death with the smell of the human nearby, and that is the last thing we want to happen. That looks like it is just a simple snare, actually. Just a simple leg snare, neck snare, whatever you want to call it. But the general idea is if you find a rabbit trail, you want to put this thing down with the loop traveling in the direction of footpathing for the rabbits so that like they sort of just walk this way and accidentally get their neck caught in it as they're walking through, and then it chokes them out. And then you get yourself a rabbit. I'm going to try to pick up dogbane wherever I can. There we go. So we got a little bit of dogbane right there for a little bit further fire, or for a little bit more rope preparation. I need to go grab the logs that we took the time to chop down over here because it cost us durability off of our axe, and so we might as well make good use of the object. Perfect. I don't know how long it's going to take these blueberry bushes to come back, but it's very, very fortuitous that we spawned in right next to like 4 different blueberry bushes. I think that's going to help us out big time when it comes to our food situation. Just taking pressure off of all the foods and things that we've got going on. 2 more logs in there for another 2 hours. I'll take it. We must not have picked up the little log. That's what it looks like to me anyways. I don't want to lie down just yet. It's not nighttime. It wants me to place a cairn for metalworking. Huh. Interesting. I'm intrigued. How does a cairn help us with metalworking? I thought that it was a trail marker. Huh. I thought that we were just going to be using these to mark our way. Speaking of which, it's tremendously poor form if you're out in nature to knock over a cairn. That's one of the unspoken rules of backpacking and outdoorsmanship. You ever see one of these around? Don't kick it, don't knock it over, don't disrespect it. Someone put that there for a reason. It may be a memorial to a friend. It may be a trail marker that keeps people from getting lost. You don't know, but either way, there's no reason to knock it down that's positive other than just like destruction. But chances are, if you see a cairn around somewhere when you're hiking or you're out in the wilderness, it has a function to someone. and you should respect that function. We've got some bricks in here. I like the sound of that. Do these stack any higher? They only stack up to 3s, huh? We've got a bunch of bowls and whatnot, too, and I'm going to assume that those don't stack. I feel like that's a safe assumption. So, we'll just kind of spread our trash around and do the human thing. There we go. I don't know if it's, like, fully nighttime right now, but I'm going to eat a sausage real fast. I love sausage. You give me a bratwurst, you give me anything, and I'll be a happy camper. Looks like we have room in the tank for one more, so I'm going to go ahead and eat it. And then we'll worry about our hunger and our thirst tomorrow. I think it's time to lie down and get on with tomorrow's festivities. Okay, we are now officially well rested, and it seems like we're in the morning. I think the light source actually changes based on morning and evening, too, so they've got east and west plotted out with regards to the game. I actually dig that. That's one of those little details that I didn't expect. Let's go ahead, and we'll throw a few more sticks on here. We still got 2 hours left. Okay, let me grab a clay bowl real fast. And we will put the clay bowl inside of our... Oh, I guess I can't. Okay, we'll put it inside of our hands then. And then we'll go ahead and get ourselves filled up with water for the day. It seems like it holds a little bit less water than the stone one. But maybe it's got like a better durability, or maybe it cooks faster. Who knows? Hard to say. Throw that right there. And I actually don't want to... I don't know if we'll make some kind of garlic stew. It does. The clay ones cook a lot faster. So there you go. It cuts about half the time off. That's good to know. If we can manage it with our energy levels, it's actually a tremendously wise idea to keep a perpetual fire going. The reason for that is twofold. A, you always have a source of warmth and boiling, and then B, people see fires when they are looking for you. And once the fire is big and established, and it's not at risk of dying on you, what you can do is you can throw kind of wet branches and stuff on top of it to send up smoke signals. Smoke signals are a thing that helicopters will see if they're looking for you out in the middle of nowhere. But the main advantage, if you're in a survival situation like our character is right now, is just always having access to boiling, always having access to charcoal, always having access to good things. And we're full up right here. I think I'm going to have to make the crate. I don't think I've got any way around it. Can I convert a log? Oh, you can make firewood out of the logs. What an appealing idea. Okay, we'll make those real fast. I've still got a little bit left, so I can make some more clay bricks, although I haven't really thought about what I'm going to build out of the clay bricks, but it does look like there's advanced crafting coming our way. Oh, apparently I've got like a knife or a sword or something. Okay. We need to go check our snares, too. I would actually like to build 3 or 4 snares. I'd like to have a whole bunch of them. Snares are a function of volume. Alright, get my water going. And we will drink all. And that is 1 meter that has been babysat for the day. Perfect. I don't know if there's actually... I mean, the fact that we have a knife and there are weapons... Like, I was looking at the crafting list, and there are weapons and things that you can craft. That leads me to believe that there is going to be conflict or fighting in this game. Just as a note as we move along, just in case we don't see it here today while we're running around picking up sticks and doing all the fun stuff that we're doing. Now, we got a bunch of free sticks over here, so I'm going to try to pick them up real fast. If we're chopping down trees, we might as well use the whole buffalo. All right. Throw a few more of you bad boys in there just to make sure the fire don't go out. And let's go check our trap. Trap is up, but nothing. That's the way it goes with traps. That's snares. You can't really get upset if you don't catch anything. It's just that's what snares are. Snares are random. You have to get lucky enough for a rabbit to actually screw up and step into it. And it can be long, long times in between that happening. As a note, I've talked about this in previous survival videos, but it's a really, really good idea when you kill a rabbit and you eat it. Eat the brain and the eyes. You don't want to get rabbit fever. So what happens is, in a survival situation, and just ignore me, the people that already know about this, but what happens is rabbits are all protein and it's very, very lean and there's no fat on a rabbit. And so anyways, your body needs fat to make your brain work. It's a big problem. So anyways, there will be people surviving that will eat nothing but lean venison, or they'll eat nothing but lean rabbit or whatever else, and then they'll become very, very sick. And it's because your body starts to metabolize your brain, and it starts to metabolize your organs in order to get the fat that you need in order for your brain to continue functioning. It's called rabbit fever, and it's really, really bad for you. Or it's called rabbit starvation is another word for it. Okay, so with what we've got going on right now, it wants me to make more bricks, and I do think that that's a good idea. So I'll go ahead and we'll sculpt out 4 more of those bad boys and get them cooking. While they're cooking, I'll probably chop down another tree or two, and maybe I'll head down the waterway to the left just to kind of scout out my surroundings and, you know, keep a weather head on me for, like, where we're going, what we're doing, like, what is around us. Situational awareness is always important. And we'll go ahead and throw that over there, throw that on over there, and have fun, little poo bricks. Little bricks made out of river poo. All right, so let's head off in this direction. I did want to go, and with the stick crate, we need 15 sticks, and we need 10 plant ropes. That's a lot, but I do think the extra storage space would be nice for sort of getting rid of some of the litter and some of the stuff that's laying around our camp. People will doubt it, but cleanliness is really good for morale. Cleanliness is one of those things that just makes you feel better. Like, sometimes, like, when I'm working here from home, like doing my YouTube stuff, my desk gets, like, really, really overrode with, like, all kinds of stuff that's laying around, and it gets real nasty and dirty. And I feel so much better after I just go through and clean it up, and I've got, like, a completely wide open workspace with no dust, no, like, you know, napkins and dishes laying around, stuff like that. I don't know why, but you just feel so much better after it's done. That's a coyote? Okay, a coyote shouldn't be hostile towards a human. Like, it should not actively try to hunt us. It shouldn't, anyways. I mean, it might, but humans are quite a bit larger than a coyote. Coyotes can get a deer, though, so, like, I actually don't know. I personally have never been attacked by a coyote while I'm out in the wilderness, like with my partner or whatever. But I have heard them come into the camp and snuffle around and howl and make noise and knock stuff over. And if they're brave enough to do that, they might. I don't know, actually. I'm not exactly sure how aggressive towards humans a coyote might actually be. I've lived my whole life in a world where coyotes are not a threat because you can go in the house and get a shotgun and blast them if they're getting too close to the property. So, like, I've never really thought of them as a threat before, but I suppose if you're alone out in the middle of nowhere in a province, that might be a bad thing. The coyotes are aggressive. I can answer that question. I was not paying attention. I wandered into the woods. There was a coyote, and he had things to say about me, my parentage, and my heritage. And honestly, it hurt my feelings. A few more bricks are already cooked off, so we're looking good right there. I'm going to eat all my berries real fast. They don't really help out that much with hunger, but it's enough to stave off the tide, kind of. All right, so the cairn is yellow. That makes me think it's useful for something. Maybe I have to just be near it in order to enable certain types of crafting. Like, I could see using an especially round rock as, like, a surface to round out bowls or something. Like, that's kind of what I'm thinking. Oh, the objects actually have a physical presence in the world. If you drop them, they stack on top of each other and stuff. That's a nice little detail. I like that. Okay. What do I want to do right now? Well, we need to make a whole bunch of ropes, so I'm just going to get that started right now, because why not? We can get chisel handles. Our tools are looking a little bit degraded, and so moving in the direction of being able to craft my own tools might be a good idea, but I don't know. Let me contemplate. Now that I have a few more ropes, I'm going to make 2 more snares real fast. I want to just keep building snares until I'm consistently bringing in at least 1 food source a day. That's ultimately my goal. It's not uncommon for a trap line to be comprised of 10, 15, 20 snares that run over the course of like a mile to 2 miles. You kind of want to have one in either direction just in case the wind shifts on you, in all honesty. I'll go ahead and place these sort of just out here. I don't know where our other one's at, but we'll put one right there. So there's 1 snare. And then we'll kind of place one over here along the tree line too. There we go. I don't know if those are going to be valuable in any way, or if they're actually going to pay a dead rabbit, eh? What's a dead rabbit doing over here? Yeah, go ahead and harvest them up, I guess. Only got 1 minute of durability left, but the hide's still good. There's also some fat on there. We can eat it, but it'll make us sick. Durability's rough, but it's something. But we definitely want the hide. I don't really care too much about the fat. Although the fat can be nice, I guess, for calories as well, but I wanted the hide, and there we go. We'll grab that right. I don't know why that rabbit died. Maybe he dropped of old age. He just had like a rabbit coronary or something. All right, let's bring it on back to the fire and get it cooked up. It's probably bad for us, but hopefully the quality will go up if I stick it over a fire for a little bit. We'll go ahead and we'll put you in right there, and we need a cooking surface. I have a clay bowl. Go for it. Hit me with it. That does give me a little tiny bit of blight, but it has twice the efficiency of getting myself all nice and fixed up that a sausage does. And so anyways, I didn't get a chance to... Is it going to burn, though? It's going to burn if I leave it here. I know it is. Like, I know that deep down it's going to burn. I'm going to chop a tree for a second so that I can still hear the noise of it. Wasting a food resource is just one of the absolute worst things you can do. There we go. I'd like to keep my fire bumping for as long as possible. Give ourselves another 2 hours here. We're really kind of limited by how long our axe lasts, too. And then the other additive bonus here is that this will give us a number of sticks we can pick up on that side to maybe do some other arts and crafts. We have 4 minutes left on the rabbit. We'll go ahead and throw those both in there. It's another 2 hours. We're kind of prepping for tonight already. But it just goes against my instinct to let a fire go out. I just can't do it. Let's get this rabbit inside of us, and we'll see how it bumps. There's our rabbit. I'm going to eat it. I'm a little bit worried about the durability, though. Okay, it didn't help that much. I assume it would help more if it was fresher. That's my guess as to what went wrong right there. We'll check the trap line real fast. I don't know how hunting works in this game, if it's just like an RNG chance to catch a rabbit when you put a rabbit snare down. We got nothing right there. I have my doubts that we're going to have anything over here either. Nothing. Nothing. I don't know if a rabbit actively has to run into it, or if it's just a percentage chance every time you sleep. I don't know. Could be either or, in all honesty. I'm not a huge fan of the click and hold to pick up. I sort of feel like you could get away with Diablo looting in this game, where you just sort of click and automatically pick things up, especially since that's kind of what the style of representation reminds me of. I'll get the twigs and whatnot over here, too. We're already collecting in this area. Oh, a bird came down. It left a letter. Why did a bird leave a letter? We have seen your smoke from afar. We will meet in 2 days. Uh-oh. The hell does that mean? I mean, I know what it means, but, like, it's kind of terrifying, right? It looks like it gives me 1 minute of fire. Sure, throw it in there. Throw it all in there. Why not? If we wanted to use the hide, I think we're going to need a curing surface, and that's probably going to be in our building menu. Yeah, we've got a tanning frame right there. So if we can get 20 sticks together, we can make a tanning frame. I'm sort of curious about the efficiency. Can I convert logs into sticks? Well, we can't convert the logs into sticks, but we can make firewood. I'm sort of curious if that's more efficient than just throwing the whole thing in there. It looks like it is, actually. It looks like it's far more efficient. You get like an extra 40 minutes out of it. So I'll keep that in mind as well. We'll keep the fire lit. We can get plants and herbs to heal ourselves. It wants me to get chamomile. I saw ginseng while I was running around, which is frankly an atrocious plant. Like, it tastes terrible, but it's so good for you. That's the problem, is ginseng's like a superfood. And so, like, ugh. But I hate ginseng so much. Not a fan of it. Oh, we got one. Hold on. We got a winner. Hey, all right. Got our first meal. We got intestines over here. We can make sausage casings out of it. You'll love to see it. Okay, yeah, let me get another hide over here. I need to get some sticks then. We need to get a tanning rack going so that we can have leather. It looks like we've got upgraded backpacks and stuff that we can do. I didn't actually check and see if we've got space for like body armor or anything else either, but it'd probably be a good idea considering at least making yourself, since we know there's coyotes around, some kind of thick forearm and hand protection. That way you can sacrifice an arm when they come in to bite you and they can latch onto it and you just kind of stick them in the neck real fast. That's what I'd be thinking anyways. Something that you can cover your shins, your upper legs, and your forearms with would be a really good idea. The rabbit snare appears to... I thought it would only catch one thing too, but it looks like it persists, so we get multiple uses out of the rabbit snare. So I think we're in good survival shape right now. If we can get these to start consistently catching us some bunnies, I think I'll be in a good mood. Can't cook anything useful with these ingredients. Okay, I thought maybe we'd try with the intestines. We'll cook this bad boy up. And I'm going to go check my other traps real fast. Since we were lucky with that last one, maybe we get lucky again. Nothing there. Ooh, blueberries, though. Oh, coyotes guarding the blueberries! Okay, fair enough. Fair enough. The coyotes need the blueberries for their oatmeal. All right, I made a poor decision. I am now terrified for my life, and I am running. This is your forest. I'm not granting you permission to exist inside of it, because I don't think I have that power. But what I will say is that we can share. I saw blueberries, and I thought to myself, I don't think coyotes eat blueberries. And so I thought you wouldn't mind me taking them, but apparently those are blueberries with extreme sentimental value. But my name is Splattercat. We're kind of out of time for the day, but this is Blight, the demo thereof. The big thing that I would work on if I was the developers for right now is I think they've got a solid concrete foundation for a crafting survival sim. I do like the crafting thus far. It feels very fun and immersive. I like that you can have one object interact with another object in like fun and interesting, creative, realistic ways. I would work on the animations though. The animation of the main character, the player is going to spend a lot of time looking at the main character. And I'm not really a stickler for graphics, but I am a stickler for animation quality. And so I would just kind of work on maybe making the elbows and the joints and the knees kind of imply that the character has weight and that he's like moving normally. Because like I said, it's kind of got like a Piranha Bytes thing going on right now. But that all out of the way, that's the only thing that's really jumped out at me as being kind of janky about this title. Everything else seems to function reasonably well, to my surprise. When I saw the animations, I had kind of assumed like, okay, this one's going to be a little bit rough. But no, the actual gameplay itself seems pretty rad. They just got to get the chopping. I mean, just got to have a character that's capable of moving his elbows and his knees, I think, so that people don't, see gameplay videos and go, meh, looks cheap, and then walk away on it. My name is Splattercat. I sift through the pile to find what's worthwhile in the world of indie games every single day, so you don't have to. Today up on the chopping block, we had Blight. Tomorrow, we will more than likely have something else. Thank you for hanging out with me, and that's all I got for you. Bye, everybody.